Hi there, it's Nicole McWork, and this week I am guest designing over at a blog named Hero again for their Dear Santa event. And this week's focus is on gifts and gifts that you can make out of your paper crafting supplies. And I thought it would be really fun to create a gift box filled with pre-stamped and die-cut embellishments and journaling cards and things for the Project Life scrapbooker. Or just a traditional scrapbooker. These things can work either way. And once I got going, it was just so much fun. And I ended up using more than like the 5 or 6 products that inspired this project. Now, I wanted to share this gift box that I had done previously. This is all with Lawn Fawn. And this is, I'm making the exact same box that I made here. It was die cut with my Silhouette die cutting machine, but this one is filled with all die cut tags or stamped tags and ribbons and things that you could give to somebody for putting on their packages. So I'm just showing you here that I pulled out a whole bunch of product and stamps and things that I had at home to make the embellishments and items for my Project Life box. So the first thing is I die cut all of my pieces on my Silhouette using some Amy Tangerine paper, and I purposely chose paper that had the little cameras and things on it just because I thought it was kind of kept with the memory, theme of scrapbooking, I guess I want to say. So what I did, I like to grab my bone folder. The Silhouette does kind of score, cuts little dotted lines where you're going to be folding the box, but I like to use my bone folder to score that again, just to get a really nice, crisp, folded edge, I guess is what I want to say. And then I did apply some adhesive, and I like to use a kind of stronger adhesive. I use my glue glider there with the Permatac. And then this is the inside piece, which is also some Amy Tangerine paper. This is from the Cut and Paste collection. The last paper I used was from her Yes Please collection. But I was really kind of going for the more neutrals for the inside of my box. And one thing that I think I wrote in my blog post, but I want to mention here as well, is that just because you're doing a gift box for a Christmas gift or a holiday gift, you don't have to stick with the traditional holiday colors for the items in the box. I wanted something that was a little bit more versatile for the entire year long. So really here, I just had a lot of questions on how I put my box together because it doesn't really come with instructions through Silhouette, I guess. And so I just kind of quickly wanted to show you how I put everything together, because that inside piece especially can be just a tad bit tricky. So I hope this kind of clears all that up. And then I do take some, I think it's called Crystal Clear. I'll have it linked in the supplies underneath this video. But that's the plastic that I'm using for the inside of my box. And it just really makes a really nice clear opening so you can see those contents of your box very easily. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is start stamping the contents for the inside of the box. And I took some pre-made 4x6 cards from Becky Higgins. These are just the white solid ones, the smooth white solid ones. And I'm using Kelly Perky's calendar stamp, which is a large size stamp, to stamp the calendars on these cards. And I did do 12 of them for the box because I wanted one for every month of the year. And I stamped that with some Hero Arts wet cement ink. And then I'm using the Hero Arts brushstroke stamp set to distress or add that fun element of the splatters and like the paintbrush strokes and all of those things all over the card. So I kept with the same theme throughout all of the cards. Pretty much all the cards in the set, but especially these calendars, like I stamped them kind of basically all the same. I just changed up my colors a little bit. And I used the same color palette, I should also mention, for everything in this set. I wanted it to be very color coordinated, so it's kind of more fun, brights, colors, things like that. Now I am going to add the year with the words 2014. This is also another Kelly Purkey stamp set, and you can kind of do your numbers in any way that you want to there. I believe the name of that stamp set is What's Your Number, and it has a whole bunch of different, like the numbers, and then it has the numbers written out, and I just thought it was a fun way to add the date. Now I am going to just show, these are a couple of dies from Kelly Purkey for with Simon Says Stamp. This is her line at Simon Says Stamp, and I'm going to die cut them with my Sizzix. And I did use the metal shim from Memory Box there, just to really help me get a really good crisp die cut image. If you are die cutting a more intricate type of steel rule die, or these thin dies like this, you might want to use a shim, and I especially like this metal shim from Memory Box. It really helps with, like, for example, on these cards where it has all that small text. So I'm just going to simply pop out all of those letters and things. You can, if you would use these in your project life, you could either put a contrasting color of paper behind them, or just leave them as is so they kind of have that window peeking effect. And here I'm going to just show you quickly how I added some color to my cards using, again, that Hero Arts brushstroke stamp set. It really is, I said this or I typed this, I guess, in my blog post, but this is probably bar none my favorite stamp set out of Hero Arts and out of any kind of stamps at the moment. It is just, it's a huge stamp set for one thing. It comes with a ton of stamps, and it is just very versatile. It's not theme specific, and you can use it for anything. Anything you want to distress, it works so great for. So it's just a really fun stamp set to use. I really highly recommend it. So you can see I added a little brush stroke stamping there. I'm going to add just a tiny bit more. Stamp it off of the edge there on my scrap paper so I can make sure I get it the way I want it. Add a little bit more to a couple places that I missed that I thought it really needed a little bit more overlap. So I just think that's so fun. And it really adds to the look of that die cut 3x4 card. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add, or I guess I'm going to add a couple of little paint splatters here. I just adore these paint splatter stamps. Really, really fun. And I'm just using a scrubber pad to clean my stamp in between each color change. Add one more. And you can see how nicely those layer together. The colors become even nicer, which you probably saw at the beginning of the video with the completed project photos. And there you can see what it would look like with a piece of paper behind it. But the colors become even nicer as they kind of dry and kind of mute, and everything evens out really nice. I just love the Hero Arts inks. Now here is a bigger, like, paint brush stamp, and I use this one a lot in this project because it really covers the cards nicely. Here I'm just going to use it once right over where the die cutting is, and I just love it. Brings out the die cut imagery there, but it's just a great stamp. Really fun. I used it, if you stamp a little bit higher, you can stamp it about 2 times on a 3x4 card, and it covers that inside portion, which is really fun. Add a little paint splatter, and that card is done too. So I'm going to move on to a few of the other elements. I'm not going to stamp everything in this video. I just kind of wanted to give a nice overview of everything that is in the kit. So I've stamped quite a few things already on my paper there. A lot of the Hero Arts stamps that coordinate with frame cuts dies. And I'll show you why here in a little bit, why I stamped those on the paper first. And here I've already die cut an image using Kelly Purkey's label die. It's a set of 3 different size labels, and I'm using a lot of the I'm using the two-sized kind of arrows or tabs from that set and stamping the coordinating stamps on those. And the reason is they are a solid steel rule die, so it's easier to die cut the paper first and then stamp on it. So that is why I'm doing it this way for these. And they come with clear stamps, so it's easy to line up and see where I'm stamping. Now, with the Hero Arts, I have to stamp that one again. The first arrow had a little line in it. Now the Hero Arts images, a lot of them I used wood-mounted stamps. Those are just the stamps that coordinate with it. And with theirs, the frame cuts, they are not a solid die, which I'll show you here in just a little bit. I'm going to stamp a couple more of these Kelly Perky arrows. But with the Hero Arts ones, you can line up the die after you've stamped the image and then run it through, which is just super easy. That's a great way to do it because you can line it up a lot easier. So I'll show that next. And I just continued that same thing for any of the dies like that. It just kind of depended on which dies and which stamps I was using. So here you can see I've stamped the thought bubbles from Hero Arts, both the hello and the yes. And there's the coordinating frame cuts die. And you can see how that lines up right over it. And I'm using a sticky note to hold that in place so it doesn't shift when it goes through my Sizzix. And I'm going to pop that out and it comes out really easy. So with theirs, that's how I die cut all of the stamped images, like the skinny little tags, the thought bubbles, things like that, the arrows. I did all of those the exact same way. Run that next one through. And then any of the circle designs, I just use a coordinating circle punch, the 1 3/8, I believe, circle punch. So I'll show you an image of all of the pieces that come in the kit again. And there are 12 calendars, lots of 3x4 stamped cards using Hero Arts and Kelly Perky stamps, and then die cut arrows and thought bubbles and circles and tags and things. So it's a really fun kit. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please check out all of the great projects over on a blog named Hero, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.